We got to see a Benedetta at some point. We also got to see a Beatrix at some point. But hey, you know, it's still a best of 3. There's plenty of games to be played.
You know what? It's not impossible that we see a Cho from Renegade. Also, a Kaja from Luis. These are key pickups for either team and neither athlete. Both I very love so much on a very deep level, but instead, they pull the trigger. There's the Matilda we were looking forward to start. And of course, the Edith. All right, you know what? I'm still confused. Nope. Never mind. I know where that Edith's going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's looking real good here, at least for Blacklist International. To me, I think they're the more flexible team, right? It's all about execution at the end of the day and overall team play that really define Blacklist International. So far, I think a lot of weight is put on both OHEB and as well as UA to kind of not only create that space, but be very careful with their positioning. That Benedetta could be deadly, especially with a quick follow-up from a Kufra.
Another. I would say like this is like a signature pick, right? You mentioned earlier what could go in the hands of Luis. This is perfect for the lineup that they're bringing here for Game 1.
That's the third in his trinity. The Kaja, the Cho, and the Kufra. Here we go. In just a bit, we're about to get the numbers and the lowdown on these two lineups between Blacklist International and RRQ Akira going into Game 1. Gideon, how do you reckon?
The quick breakdown is going to look like RRQ trying to slow down the overall snowball that could be developed by Blacklist International. Keep your eyes on Sensui because he's going to be the big linchpin for this team as they start moving into the mid-games. Those neutral objectives from third turtle onwards is going to be highly contested by RRQ Akira. Hopefully, that's going to be enough for Luis to find that pick.
Here we go. Game number 1. We're loading into the land of Dawn. Joseph, Gideon, the rest of the world, welcome. Join us here for game number 1 between RRQ Akira and Blacklist. Let's notice the early rotations. Which of these teams actually might want to go fast?
Well, personally for me, I think it's going to be Blacklist International. There's so much snowball potential with a hero like Guinevere as well as the Brody, both of which can be enablers to start hitting bigger structures rather than playing for neutral objectives. Because keep in mind, that mid lane, UA has to have a good lock on it, and maybe it could be a potential for Luis to punish, but in most situations, especially when you have Purify, it's going to be a little harder than it looks.
Not only that, but you know, so far from what we've seen, I feel like we've been focusing so much, even on the roam potential, Luis, even in the jungle. Again, gold lane in this factor with these two teams is going to be huge, right? We already know signature pick, Gusta Lagusta loves this Claude. We've seen it shine, not only in the way that it can turn the tide of some of these team fights, but even the split push potential later on.
I could hear everybody just get a little nervous there, like, oh, Gusta Logusta, you can't be given first blood like that so early on. But keep in mind that a lot of the EXP lane bans were targeted towards Edward, and Blacklist International replied. So that's why King is up here to make sure that Edward feels that pressure. And smart decision by Edward to freeze that lane as quickly as he can.
All right, so pressure down bottom from Blacklist. Up top, it's RRQ. Here, they catch him in mid.
Here we go for Sensui here, but gets out easily with a guiding wind. Again, I'm expecting somewhat of a stalemate until that first turtle comes up here.
Yeah, and even when the first turtle comes up, right, keep your eyes on both the supports. They have a very important role. Like, Renegade not only has to somewhat give information, but also save the team members who won't have their ult in time for the fight or are a little too far deep. And based on what we are seeing from at least the Emblem sector, UA is making sure that he has the cooldowns to maintain that mid-control.
Turtles already spawned. Both teams going for the pull. Blacklist wins. Gonna go for the reset. Looking at the back lines, RRQ Akira reinforcing that. Stolen ult is the Primal Wrath. What's gonna happen? RRQ gets a pull.
See how they play around it. Sensui gonna jump in already with a spatial migration into the Requiem on the backside. They're gonna go. Edward somehow gets the turtle. Still, are they gonna fight for it? Renegade gonna go in with that circle eel. Takashi falls into the jungle. Flicker out from Edward. Renegade one hit away and he'll get out just fine.
That's a little upsetting. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. RRQ Akira made all the right decisions, but were unable to finish off the two low members of Renegade as well as Edward. And now Gusta Logusta is just taking damage as OHEB is having the time of his life down by gold lane. This was one of the few things that RRQ Akira actually needed so they can start pressing advantages in the side lane.
I hate to say it, but in the 3 minutes that have elapsed, it's clear Blacks International have a mechanical advantage. every little inch, the little decisions that you make in the fraction of a second makes a difference. It adds up to about 1,000 gold ahead now, even in the gold lane. That's far isolated from what happened in the turtle pit. You can see that Oheb is giving Gusta Lagusta hell.
Oh man, I mean, I think as long as Blacklist International kind of maintain this pace and not give RRQ Akira that initial burst, then it should be fine, right? Because Oheb's already doing a very good job.
Oh, even there, once again, the focus in this gold lane. Blacklist International knows if they're able to get a kill here, even in the hands of Oheb, it's going to give them a big advantage, and that's exactly what they want to do with this momentum play here.
Gentlemen, they're cracking down on Gusta Lagusta. Luis has to play babysitter. This is not how you want to see the Heartbreaker play. He's so mechanically gifted. He was once in the gold lane, so he knows the little inches that make up a mile. It's just not how he plays to protect his gold laner. This is tough.
Yeah, playing defensively is not ideal, especially when you're on Kufra. There's so much that you could be doing, but at the end of the day, it's still dependent on your teammates. And let's not forget, it's not only affecting Luis, it's also affecting Sagan. The way that he paths, he's fine. He's all right. Thank goodness. Whew.
Still on the black shoes, right?
Yeah.
And he's also rocking Purify. Actually, there's a couple over here. You're going to have to really play around that because even on the other side, RRQ Akira has their Purifies as well to deal with a lot of this CC going to be thrown at them. So you can see it. Everybody except these gold laners getting ready for this. Renegade going to go ahead and use that Circle Eagle. Edward jumps in with a flicker. Right on Saigan, gets that black shoes out himself. There's a spatial migration. Takashi's going to fall again. Luis tries to follow up, but he's got no backup as it's a double for Edward. And that's also going to be the turtle secured for Blacklist International.
Deja vu, and they're still not done.
Still going to be going, putting the pressure in the mid lane. They don't want to let up here.
Beautiful stuff. Honestly, really beautiful stuff coming in for the side of Blacklist International. The way that they actually look to punish RRQ Akira is very simple, right? They're looking for Sagan specifically, and even for Edward, he has got his guns out. Gusta is fine.
Oh, no!
Hello.
Okay, jumps in with a spatial migration, though. Luis, thankfully there in time, but it looks like there might want to be a response.
You're seeing here how precise and how exact Blacklist International's movements are. Was this not just a replay of what happened in the first turtle fight? A big win up top, a kill, and then a rotate down bottom, and eventually they convert into a turret up top. They're trying to turn on Edward. Is this the right call?
I think at this point, RRQ Akira need to find anything that they possibly can. Look, Edward, he's trying to protect this turret.
Wow, he does. Keeps it alive, utilizing that Primal Wrath against the two members of RRQ Akira.
Like a Chad. He won't let it go. This is like one of those ego challenge moments, right? First item, he decides to go, you know what, I'm going to get Blade Armor. I'm still playing for the team, and it's clear in these team fights that he knows his role. On the opposite side, RRQ Akira, they start to feel this snowball actually piling up. But the real question is, how do you actually approach these situations, especially since Blacklist International, they're not wasting movement. They're very efficient!
They're going to be able to find their target here. Sensui could be in trouble. He's going to fall. RRQ Akira grabbing their first kill here. No, wait, second. First kill for Saigan.
Yep, it's their first kill, and they spot out the jungler, Sensui, who, by the way, I just got a note, man. What's going on? His first item after the casual Molten Essence is the Brute Force Breastplate. Is there no better sign of success than excess? You usually don't build Brute Force Breastplate. Like, what was he thinking? Is it because of the damage coverage that RRQ Akira has?
Well, that also, as well as the fact that he might be looking for opportunities to actually out-farm his opponent, right? Especially you're up against a Boxio. Let's keep that in mind. The movement speed is going to be useful.
Well, they could use it here for this turtle. They're going to go for it. They jump in, but Sensui somehow steals the turtle away. The Retri on point. Takashi falls again. That's the third now. Blacklist International finding the punishes where they can.
Notorious for having some of the sharpest retributions, dare I say, the best of the best from all of the Philippines, Southeast Asia, the world. Sensui's retribution is notorious. It's world class.
Oh, that's why he's on Blacklist. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!
Still going to be going for it again, trying to hold down this mid lane. They're going to force him back, but that's just the objective for Blacklist International.
Really good moves coming out from specifically the Hitman, right? He is sniffing out where Luis is. He understands what Kufra wants to do, and if he's able to smother it really early on...
No,
he's fine. Look, it's Edward, right? Agent Zero, he's not a prime target for RRQ. Oheb, however, that's where the target is on.
Yeah, no, Oheb's just been silently working. And it's the same, you can say, for Takash. He's just finding these little windows. sneaking through some value, keeping this gold lead under 5K, 8 minutes in. RRQ Akira, their map, their real estate, it's shrinking. Where are you going to find farm to put on Gusta Lagusta?
I mean, even with this, like, when they try to find their own moments, that's where the guiding wind plays such a integral part of this. Blacklist International is able to just pull someone to safety, and RRQ Akira, they're trying to just kind of catch up right now. Just struggle a little bit here. They're 5K behind nearly the 9-minute mark.
Gideon, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? OHEB is a world away from Gusta Lagusta. That's almost 2,000 gold.
It's almost 2,000 gold here, right? And if we're talking about like questionable things that are being built right now, I'm already looking at Benedetta. He's going for the Blade of Heptases. It's like a semi-damage, but you're not going for Hunter Strike, which is generally the more efficient item because you need the movement speed to get in and out of these fights rather than the burst. And then he's building full tank after. So I don't know about Takashi right now, but I think he recognizes that his moves are too telegraphed, so he might as well get the stats to buff him up to make sure, even though his opponents know it's going to happen, that he will protect himself.
That's true. Again, we can only really theorize and wonder what's going on in these odd builds. Look at the damage. Look at Yue. Wow.
He is
Damage.
I mean, that's the best that we can actually put it, right? 12. Well, again, he is so far ahead of the curve. Yue is that important when it comes down to these to the peel from RRQ Akira, especially when they find that initial engage, and that's when we see the snowball actually happen, right? It's all part of the checklist. Unlock the OHEB, get into their jungle, start taking them down on neutral objectives, and from third turtle onwards, it's Blacklist International control.
I'm just wondering at this point too, you know, as that is literally a free lord for Blacklist to take here as they march in, where can RRQ Akira find these wins, right? Because normally you would think, well, maybe split push would be an answer, but even at that situation, it's too tough to pull off right now.
Yeah, I think one thing for sure is that Sagan is really going to struggle over this match, right? The big game changer is going to be Takashi and Luis. They really need to communicate on the way they actually attack.
All right, luckily enough, RRQ Akira has respectable wave clear. They are going to successfully defend in mid. And I'd like to think you're right. And from very different angles, Gideon, Takash off the fight. He has to be very far away to try and, again, control that gold lead, control the map. For Luis, man, you got to get some defensive jumps in.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Again, they're going to lose his mid-turret. Sensuichi's going to jump in, finding the mark. Luis going to fall, and now King to follow. They just get obliterated in the base. Now Blacklist International with the lead. They're going to go ahead and continue to assault down the base turrets of RRQ Akira. Do they cap it out? Edward going to jump in. Takashi falls. Gusta Lagusta trying to keep the game going. Using the Blazing Duet, but it's not enough as Blacklist International decisively takes game one.
Blacklist welcomes RRQ Akira into Manila with a dominant victory. Game one going over to Black.
Whew. Blacklist International feeling comfortable in their own skin, man. This is why the new iteration of Blacklist International is so exciting to watch. They're efficient, they sometimes can be aggressive, but more importantly so,